I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. How much money do you need to be considered rich or wealthy? I really think the best answer is it depends, considering your definitions of what rich and wealthy are. Are they terms defined by one's net worth, one's income, or one's overall well-being? Is the context local, national, or global? Depending on the definition, one could qualify as rich in one context and be completely impoverished in another. Charles Schwab's Modern Wealth Survey asked this question of 1,000 Americans between the ages of 21 and 75. The results were reported on July 27th of this year in a Think Advisor article by Michael S. Fisher. And I think the results are rather fascinating. In 2019, the survey found it took a net worth of $2.3 million to be considered rich and $1.1 million to be financially comfortable. In January of 2020, the survey participants felt it took more money to be rich, $2.6 million to be exact, but less to be financially comfortable, $934,000. Now that was before the worldwide pandemic. Schwab surveyed the participants again in June and found the bar had dropped substantially. $2 million is now considered rich, and just $655,000 is considered being financially comfortable. Now, why such a huge difference in 6 months? It couldn't have been a financial decrease. Someone with their investments in a diversified portfolio in January, when respondents said 2.6 million was rich, by June had only seen their portfolio decline by about 5% or $130,000. That meant they still had just under 2.5 million. The same ratio was true of the financially comfortable portfolio, which declined to just under 900,000. Well, apparently the response was more emotional than logical. Imagine that. Perhaps people just felt poor in June, or perhaps they anticipated becoming much poorer in the future, which emotionally lowered the bar for qualifying as rich. I'm always curious as to the metrics people use to determine what amount of money it takes to live a rich lifestyle. I'd really love it if the survey asked that particular question. What lifestyle is rich? How much money does it take to live a rich lifestyle? I find that when we do some analysis, what appears to be an amount of money that's considered wealth often doesn't come close to funding a lifestyle that most people consider rich. Let me give you an example. A net worth of $2 million at age 65 invested in a risk-free 30-year Treasury bond yielding 1.5% would provide an income of $83,300 a year until age 95. Adding an average Social Security benefit of $24,000 a year to that brings the retirement income up to about $107,000 and change. Well, that provides a comfortable, but I wouldn't call it opulent, retirement lifestyle in Rapid City, South Dakota. It doesn't go very far if you live in San Francisco. Similarly, the net worth of $655,000 considered to be financially okay or comfortable would provide a guaranteed income of $26,400 a year for 30 years. Combined with the average Social Security benefit, this would come to $50,400 a year. Again, location matters. While $50,000 a year will provide a very comfortable retirement in South America, and a reasonably comfortable one in South Dakota, it isn't going to go far at all in San Francisco. Not surprisingly, 57% of respondents said the pandemic had financially affected them or a close family member, with 55% saying they or a family member had experienced a layoff, salary cut, or reduced work hours. The impact of the pandemic also had a silver lining. Respondents said they are now 24% more likely to make a financial plan, 20% more likely to invest more in stocks, and 36% more likely to put aside money for an emergency reserve. So those are good things. But perhaps the most significant result from the surveys came from respondents' rating of the most important factor in their overall happiness. Both before and after the pandemic, relationships were the most important, and health was the second. Money came in third. Thanks for listening.